What is happening, YouTube, and everybody that is down there repping us right now? It's your boy Lamont Tyson. It's your boy, the living legend Larry, the Avengers of life games and current culture in the building. Larry, my brother, how you feeling after this weekend?
Man, I am feeling unapologetically black, man. I'm just feeling blackety black. You know? So everything's good though, man. Everything is good. I'm looking over there at you with your droopy eyes, getting the full fatherhood effect.
Yeah, man, that little girl hazed me last night. She got me good last night, man. I mean, for real, a little baby is like a life. When they say life is like a box of chocolates, man, that little girl is exactly that because she got me. I didn't know what I was getting last night, man. I was like, whoa. And I still ain't recovered. But we here now, and we're gonna do what we do here. And let me shout out the good people that always jump in here to rep us. Marcus, Moochie, Chris, 351 Cleveland, my folk at the very top, Spill the TTV, who might wind up coming and doing a little segment with us in the near future as we start getting deeper into the TV show season. Before we jump into our reviews, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're talking about The Chi, episode 7. We're going to transition to the trailer for episode 8 and react to that. And then we're going to end this thing in the rear, literally, with P-Valley. The only difference is we're not going to put on no condom for our ending in the rear. But if y'all missed it, man, it was some good TV, some get your life TV that happened yesterday, and some things that made you almost turn your stomach on top of that. My folk Bud is in the building.
On both these shows, I'm done with with two characters on both of these shows, man.
I know you are.
On both shows, I'm done with a character on each one of these shows, man. I'm telling you, we'll get into it.
Yeah, we'll get into it. And before we dive into it, for my people that are interested in what I do with stocks, I did make one move today, and I'll be very brief. This is not something I'm saying you should do only if you want to, but you guys remember this company right here, Nikola, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nikola was going gangbusters all over speculation. They don't have any products yet. They're an electric car company, and they got 2 employees, and they're going to start delivering cars 2 years from now, but the stock went up to like $80. Now it's back down to heaven. Well, there is all the hype around electric vehicles is just going crazy. And so Lordstown Vehicles is getting ready to do a reverse merger with this company right here, Diamond Peak Holdings. I bought 11 shares today, and when I bought the shares, I got them for $11. And look at what it did in one day. It went up 26%. Now, the only reason I bought those shares is because both companies are getting ready to have their earnings report this week. And it's expected to be a good earnings report as they announce the merger. So when they announce...
You see how he does me? You see how he does me making these moves and doesn't call anybody?
Man, the baby had me knocked out, man. I literally just rolled out the bed and I said, let me see what's going on in the market. Let me click a button. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm not suggesting you invest in that as a long-term strategy right now because Diamond Holdings hasn't even made the merger yet. The stock is getting run up based on speculation. So what I'm going to do, I've already made a gain today. I'm thinking about either selling tomorrow or waiting until after they announce the earnings this week. And then I'm selling. This was just a short-term cash grab, not a long-term hold.
What's the ticker?
Here it is again. Ticker is DPHC.
All
right. And without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, The Chi, episode 7. Where do we begin? Keisha is free. Ronnie is a hero. Kev is about to bug out of his mind. Duda came clean to Jake. Candy probably about to go smash. She probably about to go smash Lena Waithe's character. I see that on the horizon. And Rico Suave is really trying to move in with Emmett's mama. Larry, give us a synopsis on what you think from this compelling episode. of the Chi?
Man, I guess part of me was gonna say I was done with one character on each of these shows. It's actually two characters on the Chi I'm done with. I was
Oh,
already sort of done with
you forgot about Emmett, huh? You want to put Emmett on
I
that
forgot
list?
about Emmett, man. I forgot about Emmett. I'm done with this dude, man. Come on, man. I mean, part of being a hustle man and a struggle man is you have to respect the hustle and struggle. You can't go and start stabbing people in the back. I mean, you're a hustle man. You need people, and if you get a reputation for being a backstabber, no one's gonna want to deal with you. So, I don't like how he did Sonny. I don't like how he's doing him. I'm not feeling that. I'm not gonna wish anything bad on him, but I'm not gonna wish anything good on him either.
Well, shit, I am because first of all, he done broke his covenant to Tiff. He done broke that. He just last episode told
any her covenant. They're girlfriend and boyfriend.
Hey man, they got a kid together. They trying to have a covenant, and he broke it. And not only did he break it, not only is he stabbing Sonny in the back, but now he's stabbing Lala in the middle. And this is about to be his business partner. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you. I'm here to tell you.
He's already all up in her business. They already partners.
You do not mix business with pleasure unless you've been a long-term partner prior to going into business together. This thing is going to flame out. And did you notice homeboy ain't put on no condom? He went in there raw dog the same way Lil Murda was trying to get all up in Uncle Clifford. He went in there raw dog in the kitchen. So that's bad omens right by itself. Salt and pepper shaker all behind his ass. He in there just bumping. And you just showed a complete lack of impulse control because the man who's about to give y'all this spot just walked out the room 3 minutes before y'all getting it in. Larry, that's going up in flames. It's going up in flames.
Yeah, I don't understand why they just can't keep themselves professional with it. But I mean, we knew what it was gonna be. I mean, when he first knocked on the door, she was like, "Let me see your dick." So we knew where this was going. It was like, "Let me see it," and then she was impressed enough by it that she opened the door and let him come in. So it wasn't even like it was some secret about which direction this was gonna go. It was just when it was gonna happen.
So you mean to tell me she wouldn't have let him in the door if it was small?
Nah, she would have been like, "Nah, the hype was it was overhyped. I'm cool." You know?
Okay. Well,
but I mean, I don't get it. I mean, I understand that. I mean, I don't. I mean, you might as well. It's not like he's doing anything with Tiff. It's not like he's doing Tim and Tiff. I mean, they can talk about all they want, but him and Tiff aren't doing anything. They're not going anywhere. They're up there wasting each other's time. They should just move on. You know,
it's gonna happen. And so far, we are 2 for 2 for horrible love-making scenes on the Chi this week. That doodle scene lasted as long as I could yawn. And his scene, his strokes was different, and I don't mean the good kind.
And Lala looked like she looks like she's, I wasn't gonna say she looked like she's a cupcake away, but she looked like she might have eaten that cupcake. They kept doing all those profile shots trying to hide her stomach and stuff. I think she might have had that cupcake unless she's pregnant, you know, and they're trying to hide that. But
I do believe that she probably will get pregnant. That'd be a great way to keep her on the show. You add her to his growing list of baby mamas.
Yeah, because he has what, three
or four. Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a few.
But look, you got to give it to the brother. He don't discriminate on the women. He got them dark skin, light skin, heavy, small. He don't discriminate who he get his DNA to.
Nah, he likes it all. I mean, there are some of us that just like women, regardless. So, you know, all shapes, all sizes, all shades, you know.
So, yeah, now let's get beyond him. Let's go to another scene, another storyline from last night. Let's talk about Duda, Jake, and Camille basically slapping the men in the face because they decided, Gemma's daddy decided that she wanted to endorse someone that looks more like him, which was a man. And
Right.
Camille gave that lackluster speech that didn't motivate a snail that was stuck in salt. And she basically told Duda, Candy gonna be on my you know what. Give me your synopsis of how that went down.
I hated that scene, man. It was like a really bad Spike Lee knockoff. You know, Spike Lee likes to give you those smack you over the head history lessons, and she wants to go and preach about Shirley Chisholm. I was like, man, this was like if somebody said, I'm gonna do what Spike Lee did, but I'm gonna do it way, way worse. And I already hate those scenes when Spike Lee does them to begin with. So to see it even worse was just, it was cringeworthy. I was like, who wrote this trash? I mean, come on now. And I was like, we all know who Shirley Chisholm is. I was like, if you want to give us a history lesson, find a better way, a more informative way, a more creative and inspired way. Not that. It was just, it felt poorly written. That scene with Lena Waithe seemed poorly acted. It just wasn't good. There was no emotional depth to it. Nothing.
Exactly.
And,
nothing.
You know, and I don't like her character. The whole thing of rolling up to Duda and saying, "Oh, if you can't please her, I'll be happy to take her off your hands" or something. It's like that whole. It's like you have this whole thing with some of those women that are. I think she refers to herself as a soft butch or a soft bull or something like that. It's just all it is like the lesbian version of toxic masculinity, and it's just not cool. I don't like seeing it. I don't like seeing it in men. I don't like seeing it in women. It's just the whole thing is just a turnoff, you know.
And they revealed that the reason why Duda and Candy fell apart was because she got caught sleeping with the secretary.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, so I mean, I don't know, man. That whole thing with them. I mean, I'm glad that Duda's getting the endorsement. I mean, honestly, Duda is a bad guy. Obviously, we know he is. We've seen him beat people. He's killed people. He sells drugs. He's a genuinely bad guy in a lot of ways. But he also has ambitions. And I think, and to be honest with you, part of me is like, with him and Jake, I'm a little bit torn on whether or not Jake should actually go with Trig or if he should stay with Duda. I mean, I know Trig is his brother and all, but I'm like, what is Trig gonna offer him? I mean, as far as I know, he's not working. All he's doing is hustling. He went and needed money, so he went and kicked in a wall and got the money that Reg stowed away. And his boyfriend does hair in the house. I mean, so what? I mean, what else? I just don't get it. I mean, why would Jake want to give up living in this posh house with a dude that's basically like, yeah, you could be me if that's what you could be, a criminal if that's what you want to be, or you could be mayor. You know?
Right.
I mean, what's Trig offering him?
So do you think that Duda coming clean to Jake is enough to sway Jake to, kind of relax his guard with Duda and stay there with Duda?
I think it might be. I think the fact that he didn't try and BS him, the fact that he was just straight up with him and telling him, look, this is what it is. This is what it is. You don't have to like it, but I'm going to at least be honest with you. You can like it, but you don't have to like it, but you're going to have to accept it because it is it is reality. This is what it is. And I like the fact that he talked to him when Jake asked him, so what, am I supposed to stay here and be like you? I'm going to be a crook. And he said, you could, or you could become mayor, And I think that, let's just be real. There are a lot of families in this country, a lot of white families, in this country who started off, they had their patriarchs were crooked. They were criminals. They were bootleggers. They were gun runners. They were murderers. They were mafia members. There's a lot of people in this country whose family members started off doing dirt. And so if Jake grows up and his father, or Duda, who is his father figure, is a crook who becomes the mayor, and then Jake follows in his footsteps and becomes an actual, legitimate politician he's able to move on and carry that legacy forward without actually having to do all the criminality behind it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's a good thing, I think, eventually. I mean, it's a bad way that Duda has to go to get there, but let's just be real. There's a lot of families in this country that had to take that route. And I'm not saying it would be great if you didn't have to, but at this point, I'm sort of torn. I mean, I feel the pull of blood and wanting to go and live with your blood kin, but at the same time, I'm almost looking for Trig to say, hey, wait a minute. Maybe the best place for Jake is right where he is, you know? Because what I can offer him and what Duda could offer him, you know, what's Trig going to do? Is Trig going to be able to afford to put him in a fancy private school where he's going to get a top-notch education, where he's going to get connections, where he's going to have all kinds of opportunities and possibilities that he wouldn't have going to an inner-city Chicago, you know, public high school?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I don't think Trig is at a maturity point where he can step outside the box and see that would be the best thing for Jake. I don't think he's at a place where, because right now he's, number one, he's upset with Duda, for one. And then number two, he wants his brother back. So you're dealing with vengeance and some other high emotions, which probably is not going to allow him to step outside the box and see what would be the best thing for Jake. Because he could still have a relationship with Jake just the way it is right now. Let Jake get his education, learn as much as he can from Duda, then you snake him. Duda, speaking of,
yeah,
you know, but
no, I agree. That's definitely something that he could do. And
right.
But you're right. I'm not sure that he has the emotional maturity to say, as much as I want you with me,
mm-hmm.
I think you might be better off in the long run where you are.
Right.
You know.
So
if he would just man up, I think he could go to Duda and say, hey man, he's my brother. I love my brother. I'm gonna want to be a part of his life always. Let's figure this out together. Let's sit down just man to man and figure this out.
Well, if he done that, then we wouldn't have a crooked mayor with gangsters trying to chase him, which is the road I think that they're going to go down, since power didn't officially go down that road for us. That's what I think is happening. I think Lena Waithe got some inspiration from the Power Show and figured, since they ain't make Ghost lieutenant governor, why not I make him the mayor? He still has street dealings and street people chasing up and down between him, and that could be a good story. But speaking of good stories, let's talk about bright lights in the Chi. We got to talk about Papa and his daddy. So I bashed Papa's daddy a couple of weeks ago. I was partly right and partly wrong. I thought the daddy was a little bit more crooked than what he was. Now, the daddy fully knows that was dirty money he took. However, he's not doing anything dirty with the money. He understands that, hey, sometimes you got to be a little dirty to get what you can to help others. Kind of like robbing Peter to pay Paul type deal. And when Papa came in there and was about to grab the money and said, look, Dad, he gave him a speech, and I'm paraphrasing here, like, my needs are taken care of. Why are we going? What can we do with this money? And then they show up to help Maisha's mom. I said, these two dudes are outstanding role models, and maybe we should start pushing their story to go through more conflict so that these can be the heralds Larry wants to see as good, dignified men. Your thoughts, Larry?
Yeah, I was you know, I felt the same way. I was disappointed in Papa's dad when he took that money, you know, and when even the answer that he gave to him when Papa asked him, what about the money from Camille? And he said, well, that's for you. That's for your needs. And that really just right in that moment, it just solidified the fact that this was money he was taking for just personal gain. It wasn't like he was saying, okay, I'm going to take this money and I'm going to do something good with it in the church or something. No, he took that money for his own personal gain. And that in that moment, really, I felt really just like, man, this dude is dirty. But then at the same time, I was like, okay, at least when his son called him out, when his son called him out and said, what kind of heart do you have?
Right.
He realized this is one of those pivotal moments. This is one of those moments where you have the opportunity to show your son everything that you've been teaching him. You have the opportunity to walk the path with your son and show him everything that you've been teaching him is the right path, or you can disregard it and just and go down the path that a lot of parents do and just say, do what I say and not as I do. And instead he decided he was going to do the right thing, you know?
He did.
And Papa, yeah, Papa's needs are taken care of. Could Papa have used some extra stuff? Sure, he could have kept that money, and maybe Papa could have had some, another pair of skates when he wore out some, or bought a pair of new sneakers, or maybe when he was ready to go to turn 16, maybe he could have bought him a little car or something. But his own son was like, no, there's greater needs than that. My stuff is taken care of, and I was happy for him. I was proud of him. I was proud of the fact I liked the way he handled the situation with Maisha's mom, where he was like, look, it's not charity, it's a gift. We all need help sometimes. That's what we're here for. We're here to take care of each other. And I like the fact that it wasn't one of those things where it was just like, him holding the money and she's saying no, 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 and then he pulls it back. I like the fact he just put it down, just said it's yours. I'm not taking it back. So you do what you want with it. Right. Use it, don't use it, throw it away. But I gave it to you, it's yours, and you do what you want with it. And I like that.
That was a real bright spot in some of the shortcomings that we've seen from this season. Now I'm going to take you to.
Well, hold on before you do. Somebody in the comment section said Papa already starting to question his own faith because of his father. I think he was starting to somewhat, and I think that in that moment, his dad helped him restore his faith. I think he helped his son realize that, yes, no one's perfect. I'm your father. I'm a man of God. I'm not perfect, but I can take the wrong that I've done and do right by and do right. And sometimes you do. Sometimes you have ill-gotten gains and you can't take back the fact that those gains were ill-gotten, but you can do something good with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it also highlights that you raised a fine young man. So anytime your child can come back to teach you lessons that you taught them, that's at least a small sign you've done something right in your parenting. Right. And that's going to bounce me to parenting number 2. So we got Emmett's mama popping up with Rico Suave, thinking she was going to have an empty house to get them panty draws landed in, because she was ready to have the airplane line up right in it. She walks in the house, Larry, and what does she find? Tiff, Emmett, the kid, and stuff all over the house. She's upset. And I can understand that, but when you let somebody stay in your house, I mean, you privy to see this happen. Man. But what really struck me the most, your boy Rico Suave Tomas, he ain't been in her life no more than a hot New York second driving an Uber and is already ready to kick the kids out. I'm telling you, he's trying to move in. Larry, what do you think?
Yeah, something was really off with that. It was too quick to be like, you need to put him out. And part of the reason why it's weird with him is that he's an Hispanic dude, and like a lot of Hispanic dudes, a lot of Hispanic people in general, they're very family oriented. He comes from a big family. We already saw where they went to that cookout where they had, dozens of people in their family all there. Mm-hmm. It just doesn't fit with what most of us know as what people think of as typical Hispanic families and their way of thinking. And obviously the way his family thinks in some respects, since they're all getting together and celebrating and being together, the idea that you should just put your son out onto the streets, and it's just, and it's not just his son. The dude was cold because he's basically saying, put him out, but not just him. It's him, his girlfriend, and his child. And that's what really got me. I just didn't like that. Something was off with that dude. I don't know what it is. I don't know if he's trying to move in or if he just wanted to smash. Because I'm like, if it's just a matter of smashing, just go get a hotel room. I know it's an expense, but still, Just go get a hotel room if that's the case. But I don't know. I mean, but Emmett and Tiff do need to get their stuff together. They can't just keep on dependent on other people's generosity. And this whole thing with Tiff being a little drug dealer. I mean, let's be real. It's only she's running around here with her little box of weed and her money and her little, you know, whatever she's got going on. I'm like, she's in Chicago. It's only a matter of time before people recognize what she is and who she is, and they're going to catch her coming out of one of these houses, coming walking through one of these alleys, and they're just going to shoot her in the head and take her dope and her money. Mm-hmm. You know? So,
well, I mean, unless they get ready to lead her down the road to getting with Tamara's husband, the guy that we seen earlier in the season that bought weed from her, that was like, whenever you need me, I'm here for you. They might be leading us down a road where it's going to be him versus Emmett. I don't know exactly where they're going with that, but I do think we'll see him again before the season is over with.
Yeah, I think so. We'll probably see him, and I wouldn't be surprised if it turned out that, you know, once Tiff recognizes that Emmett cheated on her again, she'll go be with that other. She'll probably go hook up with that other dude, because she'll probably be like, why am I up here crashing on his mama's couch? You know, when I could be living with this other dude in a really nice place, it's all plushed out, and he's giving me attention and helping me and whatever else. I think it's just a matter of time before she dips on Emmett. Emmett's going to be a little bit upset, or a lot upset when it happens, and he's going to be in a conflict. He's going to be in a conflicted situation, because it's going to be like, okay, you know, Dominique's going to have probably a caught feelings. If she has, seems to me like she's probably already, but. You know,
I don't think Dominique gonna have caught feel. I just think she's just about, you know, give me my fix, and then move on, make the money. I don't know if she got feelings or not.
I think she's already caught feelings, and I think that when Emmett starts to go and when Emmett feels some sort of way about Tiff leaving, she's gonna start feeling some sort of way. Like, wait a minute, you were just all up in my guts, and now you're up here, you know, boo-hooing or worrying about some other chick. It's gonna go sideways for Emmett, and you know, as it always does, and it will, and you know, that whole storyline is getting a little thin. I feel like they need to. They have made him one-dimensional in that respect, and they really need to expand his that character a little bit more in that arena, because it just feels one-dimensional at this point. But
maybe they will. But moving this story to the final thing I want to review with you from what happened last night. Of course, Tiffany got free. Ronnie helped save her. But Larry, how Ronnie get his ass beat when he got into the door to help the girl? Homeboy rushes in. And Homeboy, make no mistake, Homeboy is a punk. I mean, let's make no mistake about that. He's a punk. And at first, I was about to be upset with Tiff, with her, Keisha, because she could have darted out the door while Homeboy was jostling around with Ronnie. But that rabid animal within her that had been abused came out. She jumped on him, clawed his eyes up, wound up grabbing that crowbar, and man, she beat him like Barry Bonds knocking home runs in '99. Beat him to death. He's dead. Where do they go from here with both characters? Ronnie has an opportunity to go to Springfield, leave the Chi. He's not going to do it. It doesn't look like. Tiff was going to leave. Keisha was going to leave. Now she's probably got some trauma mentally. Where do they go with these two characters?
Honestly, man, with Ronnie, I'm hoping they do something good with Ronnie. I want to see him do something good, or them do something good with him. That scene with Kev when he went to the hospital room, I was hoping that Kev would have did something more, just a little more than what he did. All he did was went in there, sort of stared at him. It felt like it took him a lot just to say thank you. And I really wish that Kev would have maybe just went and squeezed the brother's hand or something, just been just some sign of appreciation besides just thank you and walking out. I mean, he saved your sister's life, you know. But with Keisha, part of me's done with her, man, because I'm just like, Trick, you were already out the house once, and you sat there to smell the grass and play with the ladybugs and got your ass drugged back up in the house. And now you just ended up in this big ass fight, and you get outside, and the first thing you want to do is, oh, the sun is so bright. Oh, and then she's just gonna stumble into the middle of the street and just sit there. Bitch, you're a track star. Run a motherfucking 200 like you have never run before. Carl Lewis your ass all the way down until you find a police precinct and run up in it.
Larry, trauma, mental trauma, man. If you've been stuck in Alaska, if you've been stuck in Alaska in a box for 2 months, and then you finally get outside and see the light of day, you might be dazed for a few seconds.
I'm going to be like Roadrunner and a rabbit all combined. I'm going to be flying, boy. You won't see anything but dust behind me.
You might be flying, moving right in place like you're on the treadmill, going nowhere fast. Because you gotta think, man, she's been stuck in a box for 2 months.
Done with her.
Come on, man.
And then she goes, done with her. And then
you're not. No, you're not.
And in the preview, she wants to go take all of her sexy clothes and go throw them in the bathtub and light them on fire. Come on, man. And I get it. You're suffering some trauma. Don't let that dude ruin you like that, making it think like she's acting like it was her fault. It wasn't her fault. The motherfucker was crazy. But he was literally insane. It is not your fault.
Larry, just because it was his fault doesn't mean that you don't have a certain level of emotions tied to these items that you got caught in. Maybe she's not assuming it's her fault, but she doesn't want to see the remnants of the shit she was wearing when she got caught because it mentally jogged something in her mind. Give the girl some time.
She didn't even run. When she got out, she didn't because I don't think she wanted to leave. Maybe she had some Stockholm syndrome going on or something. Maybe she didn't want to leave because she kept getting out and then she would never run. So maybe she wanted to stay. Maybe she had some Stockholm syndrome. Maybe she was doing some Patty Hearst stuff. You know?
I don't know, but do you think that eventually they're going to take her character and let her leave the Chi, or are they going to keep her here to keep the storyline going somehow, some way? Because, at the end of the day, we haven't even spoke about this. She did have a connection to Emmett. And also, I've seen some people, when they go through this type of trauma, they don't want to have nothing to do with men anymore. Period.
Right.
Like they're just done with men. So there's a bunch of roads they could go down with this character. You could bring Emmett back in. She could decide she's done with men altogether.
Maybe she'll start sleeping with Candy.
I doubt it'd be Candy, but where do you see this character going? And then we'll get into the trailer review.
Maybe, I don't know, man. I'll tell you where I would like to see this. I'll tell you where I'd like to see this go.
Where?
I would like to see this. I would like to see it where she ends up getting back with, like, Tiff gets all bent out of shape, leaves, and goes to stay with that dude that seems like he's doing well, the one that she's selling weed to. And Emmett and Keisha end up hooking back up because he's alone and whatever else. Maybe they just start talking, and Emmett's like, you should leave and go away to school in California. And she's just like, I can't do it. I can't go right now. I'm scared. And then he should say, I'll go. If you're scared, I'll go with you. And then they leave. And now they can instead of having the Chi, they can have LA or whatever they want to. They can call it a new show, but it'll just be on the West Coast.
Well, in order for that to happen, Emmett would have to grow up really quick because he doesn't have a level of maturity to deal with someone who's been damaged mentally the way this girl has been damaged. That would just be a train wreck if they bring his character the way it is now. So
it could be, but the difference is, like, I think he's with Tiff because they have a kid together. I actually think he loves Keisha. So I think the way that he would be with Keisha might be different. Well, I know it'd be different because when you're with someone because they're pretty or because they have your kid or because of some other reason why you feel that you need to be with them or you have to be with them, is different when you actually love somebody and you're with them because you just really want to be with them. I think he loves her and he would be different with her because he actually genuinely wants to be with her. It's not being forced to. So I don't know. I'd be cool if they actually went away together. They moved out to California and, maybe Emmett can get a job with Tommy.
Oh man, moving right along.
I'm just
That
saying. I'm just
that
saying.
is going to conclude the review of the Shy episode 7. They gave us a clip from episode 8. We're going to take a look at it right now, and then me and Larry are going to review it and see what we think is going to happen in episode 8. Here we go.
Just like you left it. If things are out of order, it's just because we cleaned up before you came home. Sorry if everything is not exactly the way you left it. If you need anything, just let us know. Maybe you should try to get some sleep. I'll be right outside. All night.
Man, they're gonna drag it out, Larry. I mean, that girl has got some real issues she's gonna have to work through. She didn't even want her mom to hug her. She's still dealing with that. That is exactly what I mean when I say she busts out the door, sees the sun for the first time in 2 months, and she's frozen. She is dealing with a heavy plight right now. What do you think they're gonna do in episode 8 surrounding this particular storyline?
I'll tell you one thing, they need to bring Kev over there with her, because one of those things is like she didn't want her mom touching her, but she's always been a protector to Kevin. She's his older sister, and so to bring back the person that you are protecting can give her a bit of sense of her power back, a sense of purpose, and and I mean the girl's messed up, no doubt. She's messed up. She's gonna be messed up for a while, So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. It could be interesting, but the way they've done her so far in this story, I don't trust the writers to come up with a good story for me that I'm gonna be engaged by. It just seems like they're trying to. They make it's like in some instances she seems really smart, and other times they just make her stupid, and that just bothers me. It's like she can't be that dumb. She's a kid from the south side of Chicago. She's street smart. She's book smart, and you're just gonna make her dumb at the just most inopportune times. I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping it turns out well. But I don't trust the writers to deliver that.
I'm interested to see how she interacts with people besides Dre and the mom. Now, a lot of people are still thinking that Dre has some ulterior motives. They don't trust Dre. They mentioned Dre as a school counselor, and I guess that's supposed to help. But Keisha was never that fond of Dre in the first place, so I don't know how that is going to actually come into play. I do agree with you that maybe Kevin can be the bond that helps resurrect her back to a place where she feels normal. Because like you said, she did kind of have a protective bone for Kevin. She loves her brother, and he's in the house. We know that. It's just a matter of how are they going to interact? Would she even want to deal with him? Because right now, she's locking herself in the room and don't want to deal with nobody. And I did a trailer review today where she does sit down with Ronnie, which I think is pretty impactful that they let him come in the house to talk to her, which I think they're going to give us an opportunity to just see who she reacts to the most in episode 8. And then we've still got to follow up on some of the other storylines that they've got to try to catch up before the last episode. So I guess we'll see where it goes.
Maybe Ronnie and her will be maybe those two will be able to heal each other. I mean, he's an alcoholic trying to get clean.
Right.
And she's suffering all kinds of trauma. Maybe the two of them can, you know. Possibly. I mean, we know she's about to be jacked up. We know she's about to run around with you know, burn up all of her stuff, and then she's going to run around with an oversized hoodie on looking like the Unabomber. So we know that she's sort of going off on the deep end, and dudes got all up in her head thinking that, you know, that it was her fault, that if she wasn't dressed sexy or whatever, that she wouldn't have been caught up with all this. So, I mean, the reality of it is, you know, it could be a good story, but I just don't know if maybe the writers just don't want it to be. Maybe they don't have to, maybe their vision is just so far different from what mine is. I can't enjoy it. So we'll see.
We'll see. Now, moving right along to the show, everybody has been waiting for us to react to P-Valley episode 4. And we know what scene y'all want us to talk about. Well, we're going to make y'all wait till we get to that damn cringe-worthy scene. I was smelling crazy thoughts, and boy, I lost my life watching that crap. But let's just eat around the cookie before we get there, Larry. No pun intended. Last night was supposed to have been the final dance for that great vehicle named Mercedes, and it wound up not being that. We learned it ended up being the debut of the new queen of the pink.
Oh my God! Here we go. Crooked letter, humpback.
This boy, his love for Mississippi. Now, Larry, you're gonna have to help me out with this. What's the white girl's name?
Gidget.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the story revolves a whole lot about them preparing to be ready for Mercedes' last dance. Now, y'all know Mercedes' transition is she's got her dance studio. Now, she was in there talking to the person selling the building, and her business plan ain't sound all that tight. But, you know, bless her for being able to save money so she can transition, because, like she said, you can't dance for your whole entire life.
This is what I'm trying to think, though, right? She's been dancing for 7 years. She's been dancing
7 years.
And we see how much money those girls bring in. I mean, these dudes are walking in handing stacks over. I mean, just stacks and stacks.
Them's probably all ones.
I know, but even if they're all ones, I mean, some of these dudes, one dude came in with that bag. He had a couple G in there, and gave her a couple of G, her and the other chick. And I'm like, these dudes are up there throwing all kinds of money on the stage. I mean, they have to be coming home with at least like a good $1,000 each night or something like that, from the looks of the amount of money they're throwing out there. And how is it that you worked for 7 years and all you saved was 20 grand?
Yeah,
7 years. That's all you. I mean, that's crazy.
Well, Spill the Tea is also saying we also have to consider she's been taking care of her mama on top of her own responsibilities too. And, you know, we saw what happened with taking care of the mama came back to bite her ass. Now, I said in my trailer review last week, either she was abducted or she got arrested. Turns out she got arrested because she had to go in there and kick her mama's ass for the mama not giving her 20 grand. The mama decides to have her a preachy Coretta Scott King moment. Got up in the pulpit, start preaching. The pastor had to yank her ass down like she was a sweat rag in the wrestling ring. And she decides she's going to take that girl's money and steal her building. Man, Lord, Larry, that'll make you snap the big wig off.
She did it wrong, but we knew that was going to happen. We knew she wasn't getting that money back from her mom. I wasn't fully sure where that money was going to, but as soon as she wasn't answering that phone, well, before that, I was like, when I realized she had been giving her mother this money, I was like, you're never getting that money back. Even if your mom's been saving it the way she has been, You're not getting that money back.
We said that from the episode that happened. She wasn't getting that money back.
Right. And then when I saw her mom's talking about, she wanted to preach, and dude was like, if you can't get in line, then you need to go find you another church. I was like, oh, she's about to start her own church.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like,
yeah.
It was a little predictable, but I mean, I see where they're going with it. But I mean, you can't have Mercedes last dance when she's supposed to be the one of the main characters, and what, we're gonna get rid of her, take her off the pole the first season? No.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know this ain't her last dance now.
Well, no, she didn't dance her last dance, so it's not her last dance.
Well, I mean, she's not going to be leaving Pink, period, because she's probably going to have to go back to work now that her mama done took her dream. She's going to have to start saving money all over again. She's going to have to start from the bottom.
Yep.
Now let's talk about.
Now everybody saw Mississippi up in there. That she might be the new it girl.
Hey, and I'm worried too because Mississippi held it down. Mississippi said, you know what? I'm going to step up to this plate, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to nail this thing, and she nailed it.
Right. What I'm curious about though is what's her name? Autumn Night up to with all those money transfers?
Yeah, what is she? Is she still in people's identities? She's still an identity. She's got to be, because she's got wigs, she's got IDs, and she's doing all these wire transfers. She's
all for $9,000, just enough to keep off the IRS radar.
Exactly. She's doing a whole lot of wire. Did you see that sales ticket? It was like $2 million. She's getting money from somewhere. Did you see that ticket?
I didn't see that. No.
It was $2,800,000 and something odd $1,000.
Damn.
So
yeah.
She's up to something. We know she's got some kind of a business background. But what about that exchange between her and Andre when he was basically screaming at her, I gave up all this for a stripper, and got in her face, and she went nuts when he mentioned something about a child. What was that all about? What was that all about?
I mean, I think she must have lost her kid during the floods or something. She must have lost her kids during the hurricane or something like that, and that just set her off. Like, it's one thing when he was just, hitting on her, but when he hit the whole thing about her kids, she just sort of lost it. But I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I have a feeling that her and Andre are going to end up working together because because we obviously know that she knows some stuff, and Andre doesn't want to do business the way his dad wants him to do business. I'm thinking that Andre, Autumn Night, and Corbin are all going to end up working together, and they might end up working with Uncle Clifford, because they're going to try and take the Pink. So I think those four might end up working together, against the interest of the casino, or to try and get their own slice of that casino. So, but they're going to end up working together, I think, somehow.
So I stand corrected. The viewers are saying it was 28,000, not 2 million. So it was 28. I had that part right, but I had too many zeros. Nonetheless, where is she getting this money from still? That's what we're trying to figure out. Where are these wires going and coming from? What is the deal with her coming up with? Then she was washing the money as if it was counterfeit. So
she was putting the money in. She was putting it in booze because she wanted it to smell like it had come from the club. Yeah. So that's what she was in there saying. They like the new girl. That's when the woman in the bank said, "Yeah, I know. My husband knows something too."
So so what is the deal with her and this money laundering? Because that's what she's doing. She's money laundering. And what is it all about, Larry?
I don't know, man. That for me probably right now is the most interesting thing about her. So because they haven't really told us a whole lot. And so it's like, it's one of those things. I know that they're trying to hold stuff out so that I know they like to hold out a little bit so that you're sort of intrigued, but you need a little more nugget. You need a little bit more to go on. You need to have a reason to actually care about a person so that you care about that person and you're interested in learning more about them. Right now, there's no reason for us to really care about her. So I just don't care. They haven't given me a reason to care about her.
I don't care about
So,
her either, man.
so
I mean,
I'm
I
mildly
started out
curious
liking
about the money
her.
laundering.
Yeah, I started out liking her, and she dropped right to the bottom of my list quick. I am
Right.
now starting to be more intrigued by M.I. crooked letter, crooked letter. I can't even front about that. I'm on the crooked letter team now because
See, there you
there
go.
there is some depth to her. She has a youthful personality where she's got some insecurities where she just kind of feels like the only thing that's the bane of her existence is the way she looks, and
Right.
she's got children. We know Diamond likes her, and
Right.
there's a lot of stuff they could do with that character. They've been renewed for another season, so then
Right.
you wonder how are they going to protect Club Pink from being steamrolled by the casino. It looks like Autumn Night is probably going to go in business with Uncle Cliff to help
Yeah.
him with that 55 G's he owed.
Right. I wouldn't even be surprised. I wouldn't even be surprised if Autumn Night did some shadiness with it, where she worked something out with Andre and set up like a corporation in Delaware. Since you can keep the corporations in Delaware can be completely anonymous. If she did something like that and had somebody come in and work with Uncle Clifford and say, "Hey, we want to pay off your debt for a part, for part ownership in the club," and he agrees to it, and then it turns out that his new partner is Autumn Night. I wouldn't be surprised if there was, because she's shady like that. And
Right.
we know that she's doing some weird identity theft stuff or something. I don't know. She's doing something. And she knows about setting up corporations and all this other. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens. So
and we still haven't seen Corbin come back, and we know he's sitting on some stacks, and we know that he has a fondness of Uncle Clifford because they've got some dirt on each other from back in school days. So it wouldn't surprise me if you see some kind of a hookup between Uncle Clifford, Autumn Daytime, Corbin, and Andre. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they all hook up somehow, some way.
yeah, I agree.
And so
I agree. I'm curious. I want to know what direction they're going to go with it, but I think that's what's probably likely going to happen.
And ladies and gentlemen, that leads us to the worst scene I've ever seen in a decade of TV shows. This made me cringe. It made my wife cringe. And it's no pun intended. They had a love scene that lasted longer than Emmett's love scene and Doodle's love scene. They had a love scene last night between Uncle Clifford and Little Gay Murda. And in the middle of Little Murda, about to try to murder Uncle Clifford from the back, Uncle Clifford made him put on the condom. Larry, discuss that scene because I turned my head from it.
Well, first, let me just say, Lil Murda is just, I don't like bitch assness. I just do not like bitch assness. And he was on.
Wait a minute. You saw how upset he got when they referenced him as that in the show last night. You saw he just went nuts with his insecurity.
And that's why I don't like it when his boy was like, "Yo, I heard, talking about you acting like a punk." He's like, "You're talking about you act, it's like you're everybody's punk, And dude got all mad and hit him and beat his boy up and talking about you're dead to me. I mean, dude, why are you getting upset with your boy? And then you're gonna go sit outside and go pout go pout outside the club, and then you're gonna go in the back room and just go bang out Uncle Clifford. Your boy was right. You're mad at your boy, and you're up there. You're mad at him because you're doing the shit he said you do. I mean, that's bitch assness. Just be honest. Be straight up. If you're supposed to be a G, be real with who you are and what you are. Don't get mad. I get it if you're trying to keep your stuff on the low, if you're trying not to have everybody know your business. But when your boy calls you out on it, don't get mad and beat your dude up because you got called out on your shit. Just say, okay, well, you got me. That's me. Deal with it. I mean, if you can whoop your boy's ass, and you just have to tell your boy, look, we're cool or we're not cool. I can whoop your ass still. So, you decide how you want to handle this. And
well, Little Murda,
I don't like the bitch assness, man. I don't like the bitch assness.
Little Murda was having a long night. I don't even know why they call this boy Little Murda. They should call him something else. But he was having a long night. First, he tried to run up on the OGs. Now, these are some real OGs over there with Mercedes. And he tried to run up on them, and they poked their chest out. I'm like, bruh, sit your little ass down somewhere with your 3 parts in your head. Don't nobody wear that no more. And try to tell him to go and buy this business. So he was upset about that from the jump. Then he go back complaining with his boy, and his boy zeroed in on insecurity. He gets upset. He wanted his music to be played in the club. When Mercedes went on the stage, DJ's like, nah, I can't make that happen for you. And then he winds up almost getting his ass beat up by Diamond.
Right.
He had a long night.
He did. You know, this is one thing that doesn't make sense to me, right? And this is the dumb shit. I'm glad it worked out for him in the end, but this is the stuff that could get you killed. You get into a fight like that at the club, whether it be with your boy or somebody else, you don't go sit outside the club and smoke a cigarette and pout. Because you do that, that's when people leave. They go to their car, grab their guns, and come back and see you sitting over there and shoot and kill your ass. If you're at a club and you're someplace and you get into a fight like that and you get put out the club, leave. Go home. Do not hang around the parking lot waiting to get shot up. I mean, I'm glad that Uncle Clifford went and got him and brought him back inside so he didn't sit up there and get killed. Because, you know, I mean, I don't know how it is in Mississippi. I know that if you're in LA, you get into a fight and you don't leave, somebody's coming back around. Someone's going to the car and going to the trunk and coming back around, and someone's getting killed. So if you get into a fight, you need to go to the car and just go home, you know, and just let everybody sleep it off and hope the next time you see that person, cooler heads prevail, you know?
Right. So having said that, where are they going to go in the very next episode, Larry? Because I got this feeling. The Crooked Letter one is she's probably gonna become the star of the show now. And Mercedes is gonna have to take a back seat, but you know she's not gonna want to give up that crown.
Well, I think she's gonna end up in that place where she's gonna end up having to take the back seat because, you know, like Uncle Clifford said, he even said it. He said he came in and he saw Mississippi, Gidget, and an Autumn Night, and he said, "Ooh, it looks like my new Trinity," you know. And so I think that's what it's gonna be. We already saw how they treated Mississippi. We saw when she danced and how she looked out into the lights and you could almost see the confidence that she was lacking before just start to swell up and grow. She realized, oh snap, this can be me. Yep. I can do this. And so I think she's likely going to be the next headliner at that club.
Right.
And Mercedes is just going to have to take it. And that's going to be a tough thing for her too, because when she has to take that back seat, Mississippi's not going to kowtow to her anymore, you know?
Right.
And so we'll see how it all plays out, but I don't know what they're going to do with Lil Murda and Uncle Clifford. I mean, at some point, it seemed to me like Uncle Clifford recognizes what it is. And Lil Murda, maybe he's getting it, like maybe he's starting to get in his feelings or something, because in the previews they were saying something about what we're not going to be out in public. What we do is like in here in the back room. This is where we are. This is us. And so maybe Uncle Clifford really cares about him and he's looking out for his best interest, because if dude's trying to be a rapper, he knows you can't be a rapper and you're up there sleeping with I don't know what Uncle Clifford considers himself. I don't know if he considers himself a man, a woman, trans, or I don't know. So, but I think he recognizes he can't be with someone like him and have his career. It's just not going to work. So
I don't know, man. They a little light in the hind parts nowadays, Larry. Maybe you can do that type of thing nowadays. I mean, maybe that's why they pushing it.
Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't think so, but I don't know.
We'll see. Either way, I enjoyed the episode. I hated that Mercedes didn't get to do her dance. I was extremely frustrated with that mom. I wanted her wig snatched off her head.
Mercedes wasn't dancing.
Yeah, I knew it too. I knew it too, but it was just the manner in which it went down. I want what's coming to that mama to come to her. But at the same time, I'm not all that thrilled about the backstory or what they're going to try to do with the mayor because he's a crooked mayor. I mean, what's up with these crooked mayors, Larry? That mayor is crooked. Boy, he is crooked as a lug nut in a race. He is crooked. What they going to do with him?
I don't know, man. They're going to do something with him. I mean, I feel like you don't bring in an actor of like Isaiah Washington's caliber unless you plan on doing something with him. You don't plan on just having him play some bit character that shows up every now and then for color. They're going to do something more with that character.
Right.
So I'm not sure what it is, but it's going to be more expansive than what it currently is. I'll say that much. So,
yeah.
But,
well,
yeah, I don't know. I think that. I think really the more interesting, I'm really kind of curious to know what they're going to do with that relationship with Uncle Clifford and Lil Murda, because, I mean, that just, I don't know where they're going with that. I mean, they can't, I mean, Lil Murda, I mean, obviously we saw some of the priests, seem like Lil Murda might have caught some feelings because he wants to be out with it, and what's her, Uncle Clifford's like, nah, so, and he's up there talking about, I wrote this song about you. I mean, that's just, dude's out there. Apparently he's in his feelings about Uncle Clifford. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, I want to see where they go with it, man. And
eventually Diamond's going to have to kill Mississippi's boyfriend. She's going to come back with a black eye one more time, and Diamond is going to put him down.
Right. At some point in time, they're going to unleash the beast that is Diamond on somebody. Yeah. They're gonna let him go, and I'm interested to learn which direction is Andre gonna go in. He's caught between a rock and a hard place. The mayor wants him to get this deal done. Uncle Clifford stands in the way, and more than likely, Corbin and Autumn Brown Midnight is gonna hook up with them and probably take possession of that money that Clifford owes and be the people standing in the way of getting the casino deal done. So we'll see where they go next week.
Right.
I want to give y'all some suggestions of some shows that I'm going to personally review. I hope Larry will do them with me. The biggest one coming out this month is Lovecraft Country. Which one is the scarier foe? Racism or monsters for Black people? That is going to be good. It comes on HBO. Third week.
Thing.
Hey man, yeah, they're pretty bad, but we're gonna probably be doing that show. It looks to be real good, done by Jordan Peele, and you guys can always hit me up in my Instagram. Yep, and JJ Abrams. So definitely gonna be a good show. Gonna be worth doing reviews for. City on the Hill is another great show. Shout out to my folk Mucello who put me on to that one. Larry said he's been watching it. He said it's a great show. So we're going to probably
go through my list and tell you all my shows I really like before you dog me out about any other ones.
Yeah, well, no, that wasn't a dog out. That was just making a suggestion. I didn't know you watch it or not, but that's going to be coming back this month as well. So 2 good suggestions we think you guys should give a try out to. And Larry, without any further ado, I got to get out of here, get ready for my shift, get us out of here. Thank you everyone for coming. Stay tuned to us. We be coming up here Monday, Wednesday, Friday night. We do TV shows. Wednesday, we're going live, taking some conversations at the end about stocks, how you're investing. Download my Robinhood app if you haven't already, so you can get a free stock and you can start investing. Larry, take us home.
Yeah, so everyone, I just want to say, I want to remind everyone to continue to mask up. Make sure you wear a face mask. If you are going out in public, put a face mask on, cover your face, cover your mouth and your nose at all times. Protect yourself, protect those around you. And, also register to vote, please. I'm going to keep nagging folks because it is coming up real fast, this election. It is already in August right now. And I know this year has seemed long. 2020 has seemed like it is dragging us. This year feels like it's been 10 years. But the election is coming up really fast. And so please, if you have not already done so, register to vote so that you can vote. And if you live in a state that allows you to vote absentee or by mail, and you're worried about going in and voting in person, then please make sure that you request your mail-in ballot or your absentee ballot. And in some states you can vote early. So even if you vote in person, you can do it early so that you don't have to worry about it dealing with all the crowds. So anyways, that's it. That's my bit, So I hope everybody stays safe, and let's all wish Lamont good luck trying to get some sleep tonight. And until next time, love, peace, and hair grease. Peace.
Yeah, good luck.